You may have heard how a group linked to Stacey Abrams received $2 billion after reporting a mere $100 in total revenue the year before. $20 billion of your tax dollars were parked at an outside financial institution in a deliberate effort to limit government oversight, doling out your money through just 8 pass-through, politically connected, unqualified, and in some cases brand new NGOs. The money has since been frozen, and the Department of Justice and FBI have been investigating.
And we are back, Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. You know it helps us out a ton, and it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content. Now, you know that we have been following the Stacey Abrams saga for the past couple of weeks. Stacey Abrams infamously received, well, okay, not Stacey Abrams, but groups linked to Stacey Abrams have received up to $2 billion in grants from the EPA. But it looks like maybe those grants didn't actually get transferred to her as of now, because as you're going to see in this video, Lee Zeldin, who is the new EPA chief, he has said that his agency has successfully stopped those payments to Stacey Abrams and to other award recipients, and that now the FBI is investigating. Now, he's going to refer to this as gold bars. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you his original message when he first learned about this and why he calls it gold bars. And then we're going to go to the message from today where he talks about how he was able to stop these payments.
Hi, this is EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. One of my very top priorities at EPA is to be an excellent steward of your hard-earned tax dollars. There will be zero tolerance of any waste and abuse. An extremely disturbing video circulated 2 months ago featuring a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic.
Now we're just having to get the money out as fast as possible before they come in and stop it. It truly feels like we're on the Titanic and we're throwing gold bars off the top edge.
Who are the gold bars going to?
Nonprofits, states, tribes. We gave them the money because it was harder. If it was a government-run program, they could take the money away if Trump won, and because it was a external policy against Trump winning.
Rushing to get billions of your tax dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. The gold bars were tax dollars, and tossing them off the Titanic meant the Biden administration knew they were wasting it. Following this revelation, during my meetings with members of Congress, I made a very important commitment to them and to the American people, which I reiterated at my confirmation hearing that if confirmed, I would immediately get a full accounting. Fortunately, my awesome team at EPA has found the gold bars. Shockingly, roughly $20 billion of your tax dollars were parked at an outside financial institution by the Biden EPA. This scheme was the first of its kind in EPA history, and it was purposefully designed to obligate all of the money in a rush job with reduced oversight. Even further, this pot of $20 billion was awarded to just 8 entities that were then responsible for doling out your money to NGOs and others at their discretion with far less transparency. Just under $7 billion was sent to one entity called the Climate United Fund. I'm sure you and I now have some of the same questions. How do these organizations decide how to allocate funding? How much money have they given out so far and to whom? Are there any former Biden EPA staffers who are now working at these entities? Let me make one thing abundantly clear. At this point, there is zero reason to suspect any wrongdoing by the bank. Here's my position as EPA administrator. The financial agent agreement with the bank needs to be instantly terminated, and the bank must immediately return all of the gold bars that the Biden administration tossed off the Titanic. EPA needs to reassume responsibility for all of these funds. We will review every penny that has gone out the door. I will be referring this matter to the Inspector General's office and will work with the Justice Department as well. The days of irresponsibly shoveling boatloads of cash to far-left activist groups in the name of environmental justice and climate equity are over. The American public deserves a more transparent and accountable government than what transpired these past 4 years. We take our obligations under the law as seriously as it gets. I've directed my team to find your gold bars, and they found them. Now we will get them back inside of control of government as we pursue next steps. As President Trump has vowed, we are going to usher in a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
All right, so now that you see the EPA chief talking about his original initiation of the investigation, today he dropped the bomb that he has been able to stop these $2 billion, and not only these $2 billion, but the $20 billion, including other organizations that were going to receive massive grants. Let's take a look.
Over the past few weeks, it has been a high priority of mine to identify and bring to light countless issues regarding a Biden EPA gold bars scheme. $20 billion of your tax dollars were parked at an outside financial institution in a deliberate effort to limit government oversight, doling out your money through just 8 pass-through, politically connected, unqualified, and in some cases brand new NGOs. The money has since been frozen, and the Department of Justice and FBI have been investigating. You may have heard how a group linked to Stacey Abrams received $2 billion after reporting a mere $100 in total revenue the year before. Or how the founding director of the EPA's program dished out $5 billion to his former employer after shaping the legislation that created the program from his White House post. These two examples have only been the tip of the iceberg. I'm here to report back to the American people that as of today, I have officially terminated these grant agreements entirely. Not only does EPA have full authority to take this action, but frankly, we were left with no other option. This termination is based on substantial concerns regarding program integrity, objections to the award process, programmatic fraud, waste, and abuse, and misalignment with the agency's priorities, which collectively undermine the fundamental goals and statutory objectives of the awards. The only way we can reduce waste, increase oversight, and meet the intent of the law as it was written is by terminating these grants. It is my unwavering commitment to President Trump, Congress, and to you. The EPA will once again be an exceptional steward of your tax dollars. I will have it no other way.
Wow, so they were able to get the money back. Do you think Abrams and them got any of the money? It sounds like he was able to put a freeze on all of the funds. That's amazing. Y'all, I want y'all to let me know what y'all think. This is absolutely ground-shattering news for anybody who thought they might have had $2 billion, who thought they had two Billies all locked up, and now they find out that they didn't. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all agree with this type of clawback? I suspect most of you do, but let me know. And if you don't agree, if you think, no, the money's awarded, Stacey Abrams and them was about to do a whole lot of good, say that in the comments as well, y'all. Let's keep it respectful. But before you go any further, y'all, you know I'm going to ask you to share this out. So hit the share button. Put in the text message or Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat to somebody. Send this video out. And if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. We're a growing family and we want to invite you to be part of it. You know, I love y'all. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot right into a recent interview where Stacey Abrams talks about how she was going to spend that $2 billion that she no longer has. She talks about that among other things. So we'll shoot right into that. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you back in the next one.
I'm joined now by Stacey Abrams, former Democratic candidate for governor in Georgia. She founded the Southern Economic Advancement Project, hosts the podcast Assembly Required. She was just attacked by name during Donald Trump's joint address to Congress, and we will get to that. Stacey, I have to say, politicians, that sort of campaign in poetry and govern in prose, and there's a fair amount of that. But this kind of, I'm going to get prices down to like, suck it up, losers, stop whining about your cheap toys, is a pretty head-snapping one by any standard.
I mean, look, he campaigned in promises, and he's governing like a Ponzi scheme. He is pretending that Americans are suckers and that they're not going to remember that he promised to lower prices, and instead he is taking money out of their pockets. He is doing everything in his power to reward the wealthy and reward his cronies at the expense of the American people. And I just don't think we're dumb enough to fall for it long term. And I think what he's hoping is that people will forget everything that you just played, that people will forget that he promised to lower egg prices. And instead we are facing lowered wages, or at least wages that aren't moving. And we are watching communities react in very visceral terms because they can't afford Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're starting to see, it's interesting. Everyone's been so lockstep in line with him. But on the tariffs, you can start to hear how freaked Republicans are. Here's Senator Kennedy, I believe, of Louisiana. Take a listen.
I'm worried about the tariffs. We're in very obscure territory. We're in uncharted waters. I think if the tariffs do start to cause inflation, I think the president will back away from them.
You can hear, like, Trump doesn't want to back away. Trump wants to say everyone's got to take short-term pain. Kennedy's saying, let's not go crazy here.
Well, we know in Georgia what is promised from these tariffs is that the average Georgia family, according to the Peterson Institute, will face rising basically $1,200 more per year to live in the United States, to live in the state of Georgia. And that's part of the reason they are reacting by attacking folks like me, those of us who are doing the work of actually delivering on the promises of what should be, not the Ponzi scheme that he's trying to create.
One of the ironies of the attack on you, and I'm going to play what he did, was that my understanding is that the program at the source of this whole thing is a program to lower costs for people. Do I have that top line correct?
You have it absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what he had to say, and then I'm gonna ask you to explain what the program is that was such an obvious, ludicrous laugh line for the Republicans there. Take a listen.
$1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Okay, so what is this organization? What is your relation to it, and what does it do?
In 2023 and 2024, I led a program called Vitalizing DeSoto. We worked in a tiny town in South Georgia to demonstrate that by replacing energy inefficient appliances with efficient appliances, you can lower your cost. And in fact, we accomplished that. For 75% of the community, they got appliances that are lowering their bills right now. We had one woman who saw her electric bill cut in half from $180 to $98. That's what we delivered. And based on that program, a coalition of organizations, famous organizations, came together and said to the EPA, if we can do this here, we can do this for millions more Americans. Let us invest the money of America in lowering the cost for Americans. And the EPA said, okay, great, go for it. And they then granted those dollars to this coalition of organizations who came together, bringing 250 years and $100 billion worth of experience to doing this project. What they are angry about is that it's going to work, because we know it can work. And in fact, the hypocrisy is that just today, the EPA quietly released funds for one portion of this program, $7 billion, where $100 million of that will go to West Virginia for solar projects. Another $60 million will go to Alaska for solar projects. They know this works. They know it will reduce cost. They are angry about the fact that it is Democrats who know how to serve the American people and lower their prices. They know that they are about to cost Americans money, and that those of us willing to deliver results must be shut down before people notice.
Yeah, I just be clear on this. Like the lowest hanging fruit for anything having to do with climate is just efficiency. And it's you can weatherize homes, you can swap out old inefficient appliances, and what it does is it reduces carbon, it makes everyone's energy bills cheaper, and it makes people's lives. It's just like a total win-win-win. All it does is improve people's lives. There's no trade-off. If the government's going to pay for it as they are. I mean, the last question I wanted to say to you as a lawyer is it also struck me as I was hearing that and this weaponization of the government. It's just flatly unconstitutional to say we killed a federal grant because Stacey Abrams was associated with it.
I think that should terrify people, that if they are willing to do something like that, what will they do to you so that they can hide what they're trying to do for themselves?